And again, welcome. This is going to be a monumental day. We get to welcome our new Defiant One. His actual name I will let Mike say. Yes, but it translated means the Defiant One. It's part of a series of the Whispering Giants, which was a series that Peter Toft did around the country, and I believe Canada as well. And Europe. Hi, Peter. And this is just one of his Whispering Giants, which is very cool. This is the first time this has ever been done in that I've heard of at all. So we might be, let's cross our fingers, in the Guinness Book of World Records for the tallest 3D statue, which would be cool. What I'd like to do is introduce Mike Smith, who is the mastermind behind all of this. I actually put that in the program, the mastermind. So he's going to give you a little bit of history of what happened and how it happened.
All right, thank you very much. Let me know if you can't hear me. Okay. So a little over 5 years ago, in April of 2019, I was speaking with Amy about all the great things that the city was doing for the Winnipesaukee muskrats. We were very appreciative. Scott Everett and Peter Erklauer, myself, the shareholders in the team, were very appreciative of everything that they were doing to help us. So we said we wanted to do something nice for the city. And I had mentioned possibly restoring the statue. And Amy walked me through all of the things that they had done already to try to restore the statue. And nothing really seemed to work. The statue was pretty much gone. It rotted up from the inside because of the fungus, all kinds of bugs, those sorts of things. The statue was falling over. I don't know if you remember, but it had a pole stuck in the back of it. And it was a mess. So it wasn't going to be saved that way. And the biggest part of it, too, was that she wanted to lay the statue down, or they talked about laying the statue down in order to try to work on it, but you couldn't bring heavy machinery across to pick it up and lay it down because it weighed 24,000 pounds. And I'm pretty strong, and Amy's pretty strong. We couldn't do that. We were going to be able to make that work. So, and we couldn't bring something across the track in order to do that. And so, Amy mentioned 3D printing. And I don't think she was serious when she mentioned it. But I kind of live in that non-serious world. So I put a message on Facebook, and I asked all my friends if anyone knew anything about 3D printing. And of course, the first person to respond was my friend Chris Fernandez right here. And he was the brains behind the operation. Much smarter than me, certainly. And he said, I know everything there is to know about 3D printing, and it can be done. And for about 5 years, I didn't believe him. And I know a lot of other people didn't believe it either. So, the first step of the process, and I'll kind of go through because it was a long and crazy process, and I won't bore everybody with all the information. I think somebody wants to be unveiled. So the first step of the process was to hire a company to come in and scan the statue. We brought a company from Toledo, Ohio to come in, and they put 4 scanners around the statue, and they scanned every inch of the statue. And so we could create, Chris is going to laugh at me when I say this, but a point cloud, which then became a 3ds Max mesh model. All right, thank you. So we created one of those things, and it's basically a digital format to edit the statue. And so Chris was able to go back in and create new feathers which had fallen off. The old feathers had fallen off. Clean up all the cracks and crevices, because this thing had sat out here for 35 years in the harsh New Hampshire weather, and hot summers and cold winters and rainy and all that. And I know I wouldn't look as good as I do if I were outside like that. So it taken a beating, but Chris was able to clean that up, kind of like this Joan Rivers facelift of statues kind of thing. Once we had the point cloud mesh model done, we contracted a company out of Texas to print the pieces, which I have a piece right here out of a material called ASA, which is weather resistant. We're going to get to it. And so we had them print it, and they printed it in 3-foot segments, and they were going to put it together for us. They were going to paint it. They were going to assemble the whole thing, put it on a truck, and brace it with metal poles and all kinds of stuff like that, and bring it up here. Well, we had the process in line, and we waited, and we waited, and we waited. And did I mention we waited? We did mention that. And then, I don't know if you guys heard, but there was a thing called COVID. COVID derailed everything. So we had to wait some more. And all along, we're meeting with the company, trying to figure out what the timeline was going to be and what the budget was going to be. And every time we talked to them, the timeline got a little bit longer, and the budget got a little bigger. And so we kept doing that for quite a while. And it finally got to the point where they said, we can't do this project. It's not going to work. It's not possible to do what we said we were going to do. Yeah, I said, oh, that's a problem. They said, what we can do is we can sell you all the pieces that we have created, printed already, and we'll send them up there to you, and you guys can try to put it together yourself. So I thought about it, and I went back and I said, I've got a counter offer for you. How about you give me all the pieces for free, and I don't mobilize all the people that have been following this online to give your company bad reviews. And they said, come pick it up. So we sent a flatbed truck down, picked up the pieces, and it sat out behind the fire department there for a while. And thanks again to Amy for being so patient with us. And so we were fortunate because Scott Everett has got an amazing group of people that he works with who have been building with him. They're doing construction, metal work, doing everything you can imagine, painting, and we got them all together, and they put their heads together and figured out how to do this. It wasn't going to get done until we brought it to Laconia and actually got the talent and the brain power in Laconia to get this done. So it truly is a community project. And I will list off all the people because they deserve to be recognized. Yes, absolutely. Thank you to everybody. And what we had to overcome, first thing was the base was not going to work. The previous base wasn't going to work because this statue only weighs about 7,000 pounds. The other one weighed 24,000. It had to be balanced on every side and touching the pedestal. So where the old pedestal was not as big as this one, the statue was hanging off in places. I don't know if you guys remember that, but it wasn't going to work, and the engineers were afraid of wind. So we had to rip the other one out and put this one in. I couldn't understand it, but I'm not that smart. And what else? I mean, it was an absolute mess because if you can see the back of this circular thing here is where the metal poles go in, right? And this has metal pole structure all through it, so it's like a metal skeleton. The holes didn't line up the way they printed it. I don't know what happened, why, but Sean Dudek in No Limits Metalwork, they had to figure out how to make that work. So he's got this zigzag skeleton of metal poles inside of that thing. And trust me, that thing's never coming down. I promise I'll go quicker. Oh, then the next big thing was painting. Painting was a big issue because we couldn't decide if we wanted it to be the exact color that it came out as or the color that it was when it fell down. So the way we figured it was kind of like Elvis, like when they put him on a postage stamp. Do we want the heavy Elvis or do we want the thin Elvis? But we didn't actually, when it came down to it, we didn't have very many options, and this was the closest that we could find to the actual original statue, so we're happy. But there's about 4 layers of Duraliner that you'd find in the truck bed on that. So that thing will never, you can't break it. I would challenge anyone to walk with a hammer and try to break it. Can't do it. Yeah, don't do it to the statue. But one thing I did want to stress is that, I will try to read this, but I had the privilege of speaking to a classroom yesterday at Elm Street School. And I asked my friend, who was a teacher of the class, Andrea Morin, or Fournier, as I remember her when we were growing up. What does she think about when she thinks about the statue? And what she said was, she thinks about home. So that's exactly why we did this, because this is a symbol of our community. And so when I look at the statue, I think of all the great people that grew up right here in Laconia. And coincidentally, her father was there for my presentation at the school. He was my graphic arts teacher in 1984 when Peter was carving the statue. But he's the one that inspired me to learn about all those things that went into creating the statue. All the guys that did all the great work on this from Laconia, they all had her father in those fields. That's where they came through. And that's why it was so important that this became a community project. So it kind of came full circle for me. But he taught creative problem solving through technology. And that's where we were with this, because we ran into a lot of problems. But I thought it was kind of nice that her father was an educator in the community, and now she's an educator in the community. And we're keeping this in the community because this is a community thing. I did. Okay. So I'll wrap it up. Oh, you're running out of data in your phone? Okay. But I would like to, I have to read a statement from Peter. Actually, would Joey, you want to read the statement?
No, that is all yours.
Joey is Peter's adopted son.
I will read it. Thank you. If you would like. And that was a surprise to hear. Thank you. I'm so proud. Yeah.
Can you hold the phone?
Yes. Hello? And who has the campfire? A bonfire, anybody? All right, I'm from Edgewater, Florida, and Laconia. I'm sorry. Hi. Who brought the campfire? Because I am freezing. This just came to my attention the other day that this was being unveiled. And I had lived here for a year. And I've known Peter for almost as long. And I came down here to find it and to work on it, or to help bring it back to its original beauty, or do the best I could. And it was gone. And I tried, I guess not hard enough, to find out what is being done, if anything. And then this, I found out, and I got in touch with Peter. And I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Like Peter, he talks an awful lot. All right, I'm going to say what he had to say. I am so proud of my hometown of Laconia, New Hampshire, for having the vision and foresight to honor the Abenaki and all of the first Americans of New Hampshire by having this whispering giant created, remembering and honoring them. The Abenaki, Algonquins, Iroquois, Winnipesaukee, that lived around the Laconia and great state of New Hampshire. Much thanks and praise is due to Armin Boldak, your former mayor, who invited me to create that statue. There was a little round of applause for the old mayor, I guess. And the hard workings of the various Laconia citizens who worked tirelessly to restore this original statue. Thank you, Peter Wolfcock. I deeply regret that I cannot be there in person, but I am here in spirit holding a candle. Joey, that's me, my adopted son, will be there wearing a blue shirt and a base vest. A tan vest, Peter. The purpose of his work was to honor yeah, well, you are no pro, bro. No, I'm just kidding. All right. The purpose of his work was to honor the great people of Winnipesaukee, the Pennacook, the Ossipee, the Kawasaki, Sakaki, the Pigwacket, among others, who are collectively known as the Abenaki. These are the indigenous people of this area. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Joey. Okay, so in closing, Scott Everett, Peter Erklauer, and myself, we would sincerely like to thank Peter Toth for bringing this amazing work to our town, to our community. All right. We'd like to bring attention to the memory of Armin Baldock for sponsoring this work 40 plus years ago. Got it right there. And to honor the great Abenaki people to create such amazing symbol for our community. I would especially like to thank Amy Lovisek, who I know is Amy Wright, but Amy Lovisek, and everyone in the administration of the city of Laconia for your patience and support over the years. I'd like to thank Chris Fernandez for his incredible help. Go ahead, please.
Thank you.
As well as Sean Dudek from No Limits Metalworks, Forced No Painting, also crane, I can't think of the word. Ronnie, Brett, and Ray from Everett Special Ops Team, Garmin's Outdoor Property Maintenance, Dennis Ludwig from Rist, Frost and Shumway, Mike Locken, Dugan Concrete, and Mike Moran for helping with the transport. And there are so many more people that helped along the way that I'm forgetting them, and I apologize, but I'm not good at this, as you can tell. But most importantly, we want to thank the great people of this community, past, present, and future, for making this the best place to grow up. I'm done.
All right, Mike is going up and he's going to unveil. In the meantime, I would like to invite our mayor, Andrew Hosmer, to come up and say a few words.
That's a tough act to follow. But I can just offer up a couple of words because this is really a momentous occasion. It's a special occasion for the community of Laconia. This is a statute that over the past 4 or 5 years, people are always asking city councilors or the city manager or myself, where's the statute? What has become of it and when's it going to come back? And we could only have so many discussions where we said, well, we're trying to get it done. I know people are working vigilantly on it. Certainly, I think all of you heard about how difficult it was today. But when I think of this statute, it's not just a tribute to a single leader. Really, it's a symbol of a deep-rooted connection between this land and the Native American communities who first called Laconia home. Their spirit, their values, and their legacy will flow through this place, shaping who we are today. The original statute stood here for many years as a quiet reminder of the respect and honor we hold for these first settlers. And through time and weather it took from us, the heart of a community never let it go. A group of dedicated individuals poured their time, energy, and love into the rebuilding of what was lost. Today, that hard work has brought us all back together to celebrate and remember. As we stand here today and look not just at a statute, but as a reminder of the path we all walk together, it calls us to continue building a future where everyone feels they belong, where everyone's voice matters, and where fairness and respect are the core of who we are as a community. I want to thank everyone involved in their dedication to recreating this statute. I want to thank Amy and her team as well. And I know on behalf of the City Council and all of City Hall, thank you to all of you. Congratulations to the community to have this statute back upright and where it belongs.
follow the feather.
I go up a little bit.
There we go. That's awesome.
We'd like to thank you all for coming. How do you like the statue? He's pretty awesome. Thank you all. We appreciate you.